Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Anime Lounge podcast. I'm your host, Matt, alongside with my other host, Lance. And we have our good friend, Tyler, with us.
How you guys doing?
Thanks for joining us on this awesome episode. I can't wait to really talk about this. As always, we like to start off with an adult beverage of choice. Lance, what are you drinking?
Today, Matt has a brand new bottle of some Whistle Pig, Kentucky whiskey.
Yeah. Yep.
Safe bet to say that.
I mean, it's small batch rye. So it's a rye. It's a rye whiskey.
Ooh, not even bourbon.
No, that's probably explains some things.
It's a good whiskey. Nice. Yeah. I'd say it's pretty neutral.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy. And then I am also drinking a Leinenkugle's Barrelman Ale. Matt, what are you drinking?
I am also drinking some Whistle Pig because it was a gift for my graduation. It's pretty good. Not too bad. Like Lance said, it's pretty neutral. It's not my favorite, but definitely not the worst thing I've tried. And then drinking some good old Wisconsin staple Spotted Cow. And Tyler, you look like you got something delicious. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I'm the child of the day. I just got a tropical Red Bull because, gotta take it easy.
Nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely not. You are good to drink whatever you want. It's still a party. Well, I'm curious. What does the internet tell us about our show today?
I'm going to be taking our synopsis from my anime list, and they say, ever since Rakuro, son Raku Hizatomi, started to play the extremely popular virtual reality game Shangri, he has truly fallen in love with it. Son Raku has quickly made a big name for himself by fighting 2 of the 7 unique, nearly unbeatable monsters, which is unthinkable for most players. To progress the game's story, he sets out on an adventure with his Leperin guide, Emil, to acquire magic operations unit from an ancient workshop. Though Sunraku breezes through the quest alongside his clanmates Toa, Arthur Pencilgon, and Kei Oikatsu, there seems to be an ulterior motive as to why the 2 of them decided to help Sunraku in the first place. Nevertheless, Sunraku gains valuable knowledge and allies, critical for his advancement in the game. By seeking out powerful enemies and unraveling the inner workings of the game's world, Sunraku just may change Shangri-La Frontier forever. And that's what they said, which is basically more or less kind of the first half of the first core of this. But
yeah, that's the synopsis for what to expect for Shangri-La. yes.
Okay. Yep, that's what my anime list says, so everybody basically already knows what's going on here.
Yeah, you can go yell at them if you don't like it. But thank you for the synopsis. What do you have for the Japanese word of the day?
Today's Lance's Lessons is going to be the Japanese word for wolf. And wolf is okami. Okami is spelled O-K-A-M-I. And okami is very relevant to today's episode because we get to play with Lycagon for quite a big chunk of this, and everybody loves some good Lycagon action. And he is a giant-ass wolf.
There.
Actually, it's a she.
You're right. She is a giant-ass wolf.
And a trickster.
Yeah.
And how can you remember that one, Lance?
Yeah, so I was Googling a few things, and 2 things that they said was the pronunciation of okami can be remembered because it sounds like, oh, come me. And another one was just remember that wolves always look up at the moon and say, oh, kami, like, oh, God. So interesting ways for
I bet they intertwine
website
with each other at some point.
Oh, come me. Interesting. And in addition to all of this, we were interested in what Lycagon actually is. So for everybody, if you want a quick little Greek lesson, I'm going to read basically the first 2 paragraphs of what Wikipedia says about Lycagon, the king of Arcadia. In Greek mythology, Lycagon was a king of Arcadia who, in the most popular version of the myth, killed and cooked his son Nyctimus and served him to Zeus to see whether the god was sufficiently all-knowing to recognize human flesh. Disgusted, Zeus transforms Lycagon into a wolf while Nyctimus was restored to life. Despite being notorious for his horrific deeds, Lycagon was also remembered as a culture hero. He was believed to have founded the city of Lycosura and to have established a cult of Zeus Lycius, and to have started the tradition of the Lycian games, which Pausanias thinks were older than the Panatheniac games, according to Gaius Julius Higius. What the fuck kind of name is that? Lycagon is dedicated in the first temple of Hermes and Selene, something like that. So yeah, Lycagon, he's a bastard. That sucks. Fucking cooked his son to give to a god. That's crazy.
Yeah, the Greeks were kind of fucked.
You do wild shit.
Okay, yeah, so there's a little lesson in Greek mythology for everybody.
Don't worry about the reading, because, we're not good readers.
Not familiar with Greek. We're here for Japanese.
Yeah, we'll go with that one.
All right, now that my little section's cleared up, Matt likes to read the manga for every episode that we cover. So was there any differences in the manga? NANI?!
Yes, there were a few. More details than anything else. For anybody that is interested in reading what would be Season 2, that starts on Chapter 58. If you want to read future content, which would be Season 3 and beyond, that is starting on Chapter 127. So Season 2 is between Chapters 58 and 126.
That's a lot.
Yes. Yes.
Holy crap. I mean, I know this was a long season in general, but holy crap.
I will say the chapters are short. They're generally about 20 pages.
Okay.
But a lot of the conversations happened in the manga. So there was a lot of words that were said.
Yeah.
Words.
Damn reading. All right. And for any of our new listeners, I like to start chronologically because it makes the most sense as I'm writing it. All the way in the beginning, during the big meeting between all the groups, Sunraku actually goes into detail about his fight with Lycagon, so his original fight with Lycagon, basically what he did, what her combo moves are, and how she attacks. Obviously, that makes a lot of sense to skip in an anime, but it was like 2 pages for the manga, so nothing too crazy.
Okay, I know for sure that they did share some information about that because Oikatsu was trying to give him a little, I think it was Oikatsu and Pencilgon were trying to attack him like, hey, you gave him too much info. And Sunraku was like, I don't know, just told him what I did. Yep. Like, yeah, but like attack patterns are everything in these futuristic kind of games.
Yep.
So I know they went into some detail, but they probably went into more in the manga.
So in the anime, they kind of like go through the motions and he doesn't say anything. They kind of have like him talking and then it's like after it starts with Okatsu being like, hey, you gave him way too much information. Mm-hmm. You don't want to yada, 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 yada. So that's kind of how the anime does it. In the manga, it's actually like he actually says these things.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know in the anime, it talked a little bit about when Animalia was trying to figure out like how he got with the whole Rabatuza
trigger of
the trigger of the unique scenario.
Yep.
That he went in depth a little bit, but not a whole lot. Like he was talking about like his crits and stuff like that, but it wasn't probably near as in depth.
Yeah,
because they didn't talk like about attack patterns or anything. It was just kind of like what he noticed that might have triggered it.
Yeah, so that was the event triggering information. He gave Lycagon's actual attack patterns and stuff like that. Not really a big deal, though. The weapon Sunraku gives block. So, what's her actual title now? It's Ancient Craftsman. Yeah. Block. Yes. Sorry.
I was trying to figure out who the fuck Block was.
Sorry, I wrote this as one word instead of two words. Well, it's called the Comet Catapult. Doesn't really matter. I just thought it was interesting. I was like, oh, okay, that's what that is.
Okay.
When Sunraku goes into the other game, the one with the robots and stuff, they talk about how long his suit has fuel for, and he can run for 3 minutes. So all of his fights last less than 3 minutes.
Oh, interesting. I know they made
What did it say? Yeah, what did it say in the anime? Because it did mention that he's got to finish it in that time or less, otherwise he runs out of fuel.
Yeah, he called himself a super glass cannon, mm-hmm. But I don't think they gave us an official time limit.
Yeah.
So he's a one and done kind of trick pony he was trying to get at. But yeah, 3 minutes, that makes sense.
Yeah, because I remember that they mentioned it, but I think maybe they might have mentioned less than 3 minutes. But I know that they mentioned a time frame in the anime of how long his fights can last.
And he might have been like, I have less than 2 minutes to finish this or something.
It could have been.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because then I believe the narrator kicked in and explained a little bit of
that he's a glass cannon, and yeah. Yep.
Nephilim Hollow is the game.
Yes, Nephilim Hollow. Thank you. One of the differences is you actually see Akane and Emil and Churu. Is that the Sea Crew? Yes, thank you. You see them running towards where Sunraku is.
In the underwater?
No, before that. Before the Lycagon fight.
Oh, okay.
You just see them running in like the wherever they're actually at.
I think they did show this. It was like a post-credit scene.
Oh, okay. And then I might have missed it then.
Yeah, it was just it was literally, well, it wasn't the introduction of Akane because we saw her a couple episodes earlier. Yep. But yeah, it was a quick scene at the post-credit. All
right. Well, if you missed the post-credit scene, because I know I skipped pretty much all of them because they were always nothing.
Yeah.
And then this is something that they kind of bring up, but if you missed it, the way to find Lycagon is by using the shadow flame thing that he gets. Mm-hmm. So that's going to, when they want to fight Lycagon, that's what they're going to use to find her.
Yep, they did mention that.
Okay.
As well. But they put a meter, or it didn't really put a limit on it per like a number.
Yep.
No.
But they did say within a certain distance, it'll point in the direction that they need to go.
Right. So the flame will activate when Lycagon is in the vicinity.
Yep.
And then when that happens, you can be guided towards her.
Yeah, they just talk about how the flame will help guide you towards Lycagon.
Mm-hmm.
If you missed it, just basically reiterating that piece of information.
Because they talked on it after everything, and it was a quick conversation, and then they moved on.
Yep. Then I might have missed the reasoning, but in the manga, Rei says that she starts playing SLF because her sister asked her to.
That might be very possible. With you saying this, I remember that one scene might have also been another post-credit scene where Rei is in the video game shop and the owner was like, this is the top game. Oh, no, that was maybe that was a whole different game. But she was saying like, yeah, Sunraku's definitely going to want to play this. Yep. So she played to get good at it so that when he eventually came, she would be able to like basically be at his level. I think I'm
thinking that might be
game.
Right. I know that situation happened, but I don't know if it was about Shangri-La Frontier.
Yeah, because I think that was for another trash game.
I think it was for another trash game. I don't think it was for Shangri-La Frontier. So it might have. I don't think it went in depth on why she started playing.
Yep.
Because she's been playing for over a year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's only been playing for, at this point, about a month.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, so they say her sister convinces her to start playing, and then her reasoning to basically do what she's doing is because of Sunraku.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense.
They go into the calculation for the level of the monster. So they're talking about the Rabbituza rabbits and then other various creatures that can summon monsters. They go into the calculation of what level the monster is. And it is the caster's level times 1 point their skill level. So in this case, for Emil, it's 72, and then her skill level was 80. So it's 1.8. And that's the 127. And because it's not going to be 100% exactly that level monster, the dragon, fish monster, eel monster was 125.
Crazy.
And then this is just something funny. The hotel that Kay got them was called Hotel Grand Supreme.
Okay.
Grand Supreme. It's a nice hotel. Yep, that's true.
It was definitely a nice
hotel.
hotel.
I explain it that way twice.
The VR chair is 2.7 million yen. So we're talking, I think it's like $3,000 or something like that.
2.7 million?
Yep.
Yeah, because I know that they flashed that on the screen quick when he first saw the chair.
Mm-hmm.
Google's saying that's $18,713.
Sure, yeah.
To be honest, for what it can do, that's cheap.
$20,000 chair.
And Sunraku said that everything felt way more fluid when he was
that's
in
true.
SLF.
Low latency.
He got that super duck move because of the chair.
Yeah, that too. Oh my God, I could not imagine
$20K on a chair.
That's fuck you money.
Yeah, but for like that kind of experience with how like immerse of a VR it is, for $20,000, that's worth it.
Yep.
For a pro gamer too.
Katso has one at his house.
Like some people will go spend $1,000 for a helmet, like just to put a TV directly in front of your eyes to get that feeling. But like, I mean, it's a full chair you lay down and it's full. Like, obviously we ain't got nothing like that, but for $20,000, I'd do that if I was a pro gamer like Kay.
Yeah.
That's flight sim money.
Yeah. We'll see in 10 years.
This is something I don't know if they talked about it, but I definitely forgot about it if they did. But SLF is geo-locked. It's a Japan-only game.
That would make more sense on why our American crew never played it.
Yeah, that's why Sylvie came over and she's like, well, now I can give this game a try that they've been raving about because it was locked to... They didn't specifically say locked, but they said that America doesn't have it.
Yep.
Yeah, that explains quite a bit too.
Yep.
Which might make everything more interesting because we know that this fighting game that they're playing is based off of the same engine as SLF, and the Americans have no idea how this engine even works. And here we are with our crew. They've been messing with it for some people more than a year.
Well, debatable at this point because, I mean, Sylvia pulled, all-nighter playing it? And with her skill of gaming, I have a feeling she's got that figured out like it's nothing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, her and...
That's the anime logic for this one.
Yeah, her and Sunraku are definitely on par as far as...
I know that they're saving that fight for Kay, but I so wish it was Sunraku just having the two...
No, it's going to be Sunraku. They're paired up. 3 and 3 are paired.
Yeah, she's not
right. That's right, because they weren't expecting her to go third.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which means Sunraku's going to have to...
That's going to be a hell of a fight.
It's going to be so good.
But I have okay, we'll say what I think is going to happen for later.
Oh, because I want to talk about this now because I also have an idea, but we'll definitely say this for later.
Yeah, because I have a question to make sure my thought process is right on how their formatting works. I'm almost certain that's how it works, where the winner moves on, and then if you lose, it goes to the next person on the team.
They talk about it in the manga. I will find that page.
Okay. So yeah, because I feel like it goes like their number one's fight, and then whoever wins moves on to the next person, and if that person loses, then it moves that person down. Like if you win, you keep going. I think that's how it is, or is it just best 2 of 3?
Right.
Whoever wins.
It's not like a survival knockout.
Exactly. Like I'm.
Yeah, I don't know because
they said like each match is 10. They can last. Each person can go 30. So I have a feeling it's best 2 out of 3 you win. Then it goes to the next pair. Mm-hmm. So I have a feeling that's how it might be.
That's my first impression as well.
Because if it's like survival, I already know what's going to happen. But if it's not, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. I think we might be on the same page for expectations, but I'm curious on the words that we're going to use to describe it because I know exactly what I'm thinking, but whatever. We'll get there in a minute.
So I found the page, but when we actually talk about it, we'll talk about
perfect.
What the rules are. One interesting thing is Sunraku actually talks about 2 more characters that he likes to use.
Okay.
So when he talks about the characters he liked, because remember, he actually played as all the characters to figure out which one he liked.
Did he officially?
Yes.
Oh, I don't remember that part.
Yeah, it was after Meg said that she wanted to fight. He hopped on to kind of get a feel for the characters. And then it went through describing like his top 6, I think.
It was 3. It was only 3 of them that
in the anime, it explained a few of them, the ones that he liked.
I know they explained...
They explained a bunch, but there was so there's 5 total that he likes, and then there's 3 that they named specifically that he likes.
Yeah, because there was 3 that they actually broke down the abilities, and then the other couple they just mentioned their name.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So
and then there's 2 more that he said he liked that they didn't even break down. One is a villain named Cursed Poison. Basically, he is like an armored class person that uses his armor and poison to attack, but he's a villain, which I thought was interesting.
Okay, so with that, I'm going to imagine he's going to be very defensive and evasive, and he's going to set traps, and it's going to be a waiting game to wait. Ooh, that makes perfect sense. It's a waiting game, so he's going to wait for them to poison kill themselves, and then he's just going to dodge.
Have as much defense as possible to be able to withstand the
10-minute
max
timer.
10 minutes.
Yeah, that's interesting. And then the other one is a cyborg lord who uses...
psychokinesis.
Yeah, it's another armored class where he uses psychic powers to throw projectiles.
Yep. They gave him a breakdown, but they didn't specifically say that Sunraku liked him.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, then I missed that one. But
he's very slow, but he can take cars and add to his defense, and he can use things as obstacles.
Yeah, I broke it down a little.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Cyborg Lord, we did get told about him. I missed it, which happens. Sylvia sees an SLF poster, which at the convenience store. Mm-hmm. Okay, that does happen. I missed that.
Yeah, that triggers Sunraku. He's like, she must be a gamer.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, because she was looking at it starstruck, and that's when she's like, all right, well, now we're gonna give it a try.
It makes more sense that it was
Geolocked.
Geo-locked, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, makes sense that you'd be more starstruck from that. And we talked about this.
Then the conversation between Star Rain, basically all the guys are simping over the Japanese women, making a bunch of comments. That's really all that's going to go into it. You can use your imagination. It's nothing.
Just a bunch of guy talk?
Kind of. Just talking about getting with Japanese women.
Okay.
Then something that they might have gone into, but I definitely would have missed it, is K's World Tournament is happening at the same venue as the exhibition match.
Yeah, they didn't go over where it was, just the time.
Yeah, the GGC, I think it's GGC or GCC.
GGC, I believe. Yeah, because it's like
Global Gaming Center or something like that.
Something like that. But yeah, they didn't. I don't think they in the anime it said where. Yep. They just said it's at same day an hour before.
Yeah. So I assumed it was the same location.
That's what I figured too. When he's like, "All right, I gotta go," and he's still in the building.
Yeah, which would make more sense because if he finishes his tournament, he can
run down.
He's not like flying from another part of the country to get there.
Which would that's gonna tack on flying time, driving time, running time, whatever you need. I think it made it pretty understandable that it's in the same location.
Yep. And then the last thing that I really have is just some information. The time in which K messages, emails, whatever you want to call it, Sunraku and Pencilgon or Toa is midnight. So it's pretty late at night. Basically, he is awake because he is anxious about what's going on.
And this was for getting everybody to...
Basically saying thank you to everybody
for showing up and being there.
And that's when everyone's like...
After they broke down the plan to make sure he can be there to beat Sylvie.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that is the night before the night of, whatever you want to call it.
Okay. Midnight, interesting. I mean, for a bunch of gamers who probably stay up late playing games, that sounds about it. That's about right.
That sounds early.
Yes, sounds early. Why are you up so early?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I haven't gone to bed yet.
Start bragging about how long they've been up.
God, I remember when I used to be like that. Working swing shift. I couldn't fall asleep till 7 a.m. So on my nights off going into nights, I go ahead and sleep. Might as well stay up.
And whatever it takes, I suppose. And that's it. That's all the differences I have.
All right. So nothing too crazy?
No, absolutely not.
Just like you said, it's just more detail stuff than it was actual things going on.
Yeah, exactly. So just like basically every other action anime, the fights were longer. All the cutscene, all the detail information as far as the visuals are concerned were extended, which is why it's only 67 total chapters for 24 episodes. But yeah, all in all, it's really good. I highly recommend it. Detailing's very well done. Characters are well drawn. All that fun stuff.
And plus, content's out there to get ahead of the schedule, so that's always a plus.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. How many total chapters do we have so far? 222. So we have about a season and a half worth of content still.
Okay.
Which I don't think season 3 is announced.
No, I haven't seen anything about SLF.
Oh, so it was confirmed, no release date.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yep.
Kind of expected at this point.
Absolutely. It's so good. So well done. The only issue is that they're going to start running into...
This is telling me there was an announcement.
It's confirmed, but no, it was confirmed on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, it says it's scheduled to begin in October.
Sure. I haven't seen an actual release date.
Yeah, this says there's no actual release date confirmed yet.
Okay.
It's anticipated within around October.
Okay, so you're talking
So it'll probably be fall, end of fall, winter, beginning of winter season, I would assume.
Interesting.
If they do that, they're really fucking crushing this anime.
Just running.
Because we had a year in between season 1 and 2, which is relatively quick.
But we'd have almost a year between season 2 and season 3.
For what we're talking in October?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is essentially going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
Which is still quick. I mean, if you're putting all of it together, they are crushing it.
Yeah, they're pushing it real hard.
Well, I mean, look at Solo Leveling.
They're being relatively quick too.
They were only on 6 months, and then they had the next season already going or out again.
That's true.
Yeah. Then again, it is no 25 episode seasons, but
that's also correct.
But the hype is there, and they want to keep the hype going as hard as possible.
it's definitely worth it. Like, I was so focused on the fucking planking on the damn fight.
Lycagon fight?
Yeah, for some reason I was trying to say lycanthrope, and I'm like, that's not it.
I mean, it's at
close,
least same
but,
concept.
Like with Lycagon, I ignored my phone. I didn't even take notes. Like, I was just watching the fight. It was
so
beautiful.
Much was happening. Yeah, so let's just talk about this fight, because this was easily one of the top moments of this entire series, or at least this entire season.
Yeah, absolutely. This is like what you want out of a video game fight.
Oh, yeah. And especially knowing what to expect out of SLF and expect out of Rokuro when it comes to his cursed tattoos.
Yep.
When this fight was getting good, I was like, there's no way in hell that this is actually going to happen. Because to keep things interesting as a nerfed, awesome, like top tier kind of a game player, there's no way he's going to actually defeat Lycagon and actually get rid of all of his cursed gear, and then we're just gonna be fucking OP for the rest of the series.
And even then, in a 2-man party.
Oh, to begin with, yeah.
Like, they went into it as a 2-man party.
He's only nerfed in the manner of, I wouldn't even call him nerfed. Like, all the NPCs avoid him. Other monsters avoid him. He can't put on suit stuff. He's like the opposite of nerfed.
In terms of like these boss battles, he's nerfed because he can't equip higher stat kind of things at this moment.
That's what he also built around, though. He built around speed and critical with his luck.
Right.
That he wants to be a glass cannon, that the armor doesn't necessarily benefit him anyways. Because
it's kind of like a safety net.
Yeah,
in his situation, yeah. But if he were to equip anything that were to slow his speed or slow him down in any manner.
If anything, I feel like it'd be light gear with more so
all the ancient armor?
Well, that he wants to use too, but I'm talking about like if it was just like actual armor, it's just more so to negate effects of certain things, maybe like elemental damage, or like kind of like how his markings already negate curses and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, they definitely play to his strengths.
Play style, yeah.
Because to any other natural player, obviously this is going to fucking suck. But to him, this whole story works because of who he is.
Yeah, then he gets the Joker, which compounds on everything he likes doing anyway.
The Fool.
Right.
Oh, yeah, the Fool.
Fool, yeah.
And
don't ask me what the hell the name of it is, but I know it's the Fool.
It's the Fool.
No, I know it's the Fool, but like what that process is or what the dude's name, I can't remember.
Oh, the dude who gave him the card?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The tarot reader bullshit guy, NPC.
Starts with like an A, I think. I don't know.
Ooh, you're right. That sounds familiar, but yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, like because there was a name to like the process because of like who that NPC was specifically.
Okay, yeah, my notes, I didn't write down his name. All I wrote down was that Sunraku receives the Fool for level 99, cuts recast time in half, but doubles debuffs, and receives a chance for healing items to fail.
It was an Arcanum Fortune Teller.
There it is, Arcanum.
Yeah, that guy.
Or as they say in the anime, Arcanum.
Yeah, so that plays into his play style as well. Mm-hmm. And I laughed so hard when Lycagon ate him.
Oh, yeah. And all of our minds were going in different directions because we were like, okay, well, is he actually losing his debuffs? Does being eaten actually mean that he's losing his tattoos? Mm-hmm. But no, he's just fucking with him, making it even worse.
Absolutely.
I don't want to necessarily say it made it worse.
Maybe because casual.
Yeah, I guess. But like, he's not allowed to wear armor.
True.
That's true.
Which, yes, it does destroy after a certain amount of time.
3 minutes.
It now aggroes higher level enemies against them, where for his playstyle, that's what he wants anyways.
Definitely what he prefers.
Hold on.
Yeah, he can farm the shit out of those scorpions now.
I took a screenshot of...
it's...
no, that's just the...
More NPCs are now afraid of him instead of running away. And then I want to say that's really it. That's really the basic.
Yeah.
Basis.
Yeah, it was more just little tweaks to what it was before, where it kind of gave him more options in a way. It didn't like negate it more.
It made everything worse minus the equipping of armor. It then turned into it'll destroy the armor after a period of time.
I don't think it made everything worse, because what was his tolerance to curses beforehand?
He was immune to curses.
Before he got the upgrade? Okay,
I'm pretty positive, because
I wasn't sure if it was full immunity.
Yeah, because when he was fighting the Doulahan, there was like
he couldn't go
season 1.
Yeah, like he could have been affected by it, but now with this upgraded one, he's not affected by curses at all. Because if you remember, wasn't he affected by Animalia's curses in season 1?
Is there a specific thing you're pointing at?
I don't know if Animalia used the curses on him. I think he was just a bystander watching the fight, but I can't remember. But I don't think he had full immunity.
He hadn't fought Lycagon at that point.
Yeah, he did. When he met Animalia. Because he already had Emil. Maybe he didn't.
No, because that was when she was fighting Pencilgon.
Animalia definitely came into the picture after Emil and Emil.
Yeah, because Lycagon happened in like the second episode.
Yeah.
It happened extremely early. Like it was like his first day in the game.
Yeah, that's right.
After getting rocked by the poison poop scorpion thingy.
Yeah.
Or snake. That was a snake.
Well, I don't think he was affected by curses, but he was affected by some stuff. Because he could get, like, the poop would poison him or something like that.
That's a debuff.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess it did help with, now he's immune to everything. So, I guess, yeah, you're right.
Well, we gotta be careful on that kind of verbiage because it did specifically say he gets double debuffs.
Yeah.
So, curses...
No, that was the Fool.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying, the Fool.
Yeah,
so we're talking about the pup.
Yeah, the Lycagon one, he basically is immune to everything at this point.
Ooh, so do those kind of cancel out then?
They do, which is why he was so excited about it.
All right, so here...
Okay.
Before the first part of the mark, it was resistance to other magic interference.
Okay.
So support and buff magic did not work on the player.
Yep.
And then it was NPCs gain special dialogue, monsters who are lower level run from the player, and then cannot wear equipment.
Yep.
The upgraded one is now they can wear equipment, but it destroys itself after 180 seconds. Doesn't specify that, but he tests it out and figures regardless of level, it was 180 seconds.
Yep.
Monsters at or above will actively seek them out to battle.
Which is basically a perk for him.
Yep. Curse effects, including miasma, which was when he fought the dude, the Dulan, where he got the sword.
Yep.
That was affecting him before. Now it does not affect him at all. It has no effect on him.
So, but he could walk through it and have no problems.
That's because of... because wasn't it like the light, or was Emil casting something that... There was something that was protecting him if he didn't step outside of it.
I feel like his curse protected him.
Yeah, it was his curse, and Emil had to hold on to him.
Yeah.
So it was Emil that couldn't get away from him, which makes no sense. I don't know. Let's not. I don't remember season 1 well enough to.
Yeah, let's not retro ourselves.
Yeah, but it just the beforehand didn't specify it as much as this upgraded version did.
Yep. Yep.
I also do have a small memory of Matt saying in the Matt's manga mentions in season 1 that Sunraku could technically put on armor, but it would only last for X amount of time. And then we are in season 2 where they specified that they can. Because
it clearly said they cannot wear any armor over where the scars are, because Akane couldn't wear a helmet because she has scars on her face.
Right.
But she could wear the mask because it's an accessory. Right. It's not gear.
So I think I had mentioned that he could wear some gear because the scars weren't on all of his body. Like his waist.
His waist and his head.
His waist, his head, and his wrists he could put stuff on.
Yeah, that might have been it. Might have been some really
limited
strict detail.
Spots.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I said, that there was... He could still wear some because he's not naked.
Mm-hmm.
So it's as creepy as he looks sometimes. And yeah, I loved the Lycagon fight. It was so much fun. My wife and I were working out, and I stopped and laughed, and she was like, "This is stupid." I'm like, no, this is hilarious.
You need to watch the first season to understand how fucking funny this is. Because this entire fight was amazing. Everything that they curveballed at us with, like, the actual fight itself was basically just a shadow fight from the actual Lycagon and the darkness itself.
Yep.
Which is just big fuck you to everybody. Like, this battle itself was so intense, and this isn't even the real battle. This is my minion.
And it just goes to show, like, how strong is the real one? Because most times, if you can control your clones, they're usually weaker than what you are.
Usually. Or can he just... Or can she just have like 30 clones pop out at once? And while her strength might be the same, her abilities are compounded because she can control everything at once.
Mm-hmm. This in addition to, I'm trying to remember back to season 1. When he was fighting Lycagon, that wolf was fucking gigantic compared to this little shadow wolf that we're fighting here. So that should have been like a red flag right from the beginning.
Well, she also got enhanced because they talk about it after the fact where the two women are arguing and she was like, yeah, I made her stronger. She's not supposed to be easy.
Ooh, there's that too. The Dems.
Yeah.
The people
Yeah, so actually when he
ups.
first met her, the Lycagon was easy compared to where she is now.
He was also like level 5, so...
Yeah, well, that's why he's like, well, this ain't going to be like last time. I'm stronger and still struggled.
Yeah.
But then you find out that one of the people secretly buffed her.
Yep.
And then just threw him to the wolf, literally. Like, have fun.
Yeah.
It's still almost two-manned it.
Still almost two-man, but that was only because, which I really like, the fact that they used his new ancient armor stuff to help with the fight. I like how they brought this into it because, you know, that's what he's been trying to do pretty much the entire first part of the season, which was use these ancient equipment, which he was finally able to use.
We at least got a small tease out of a helmet.
Yep.
So that was definitely acceptable.
The helmet and then
it's
the robot.
Yeah, and it's not called ancient armor.
Yeah, it's
a non-standard non-standard specialized armor.
Yeah, fuck off. It's
right.
ancient armor.
I feel like ancient armor was said.
I think he assumed it was ancient armor, but then when he puts it on, like the helmet's called non-standard specialized armor Atabani.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
And
too.
then it's non-standard tactical avian Suzaku.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's not saying like some of the other armor
Does
in
that
there
acronym
isn't.
spell out a word, or is it just so happen to be
NSTSAS.
Okay, never mind.
Nasty ass. I don't know.
All right, that's its name. Nasty ass. Okay. The nasty ass stuff.
Nasty ass bird.
I mean, Suzaku, I just think of Yu Yu Hakusho, so fuck that bird.
Yeah, right? The little thunder. But there's nothing thunder related to this
Well,
mech.
the bird couldn't use thunder.
This mech?
The bird from Yu Yu.
Suzaku wasn't a bird. Suzaku was the actual
Oh,
demon.
yeah, he was the demon. That's right. Never mind.
Mokuro?
Sounds about right.
So whatever. Okay, we're gonna skip over you.
All right, we're going to a different anime. We're going to come reel it back in.
All right. Anyway, yes. So I thought the bird was really cool. I like the fact that he was just like spit in a circle, and it's just like, okay.
He's sitting here giving him orders, and he's just, why are you quiet? Okay. Just takes off.
Like a 10-second delay. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
He's
I'm
like,
a mech, and you want me to spin in circles?
You want me to fly, peasant?
You did all this work to get me, and that's all you need me for?
Well, that being said, I wonder what the limits of this bird can even do. Like, what's its attack patterns? What can it even...
I have a feeling I don't know if we'll see more. Because, like...
We have to, because that was the whole purpose
But there's how many other suits? Like...
he makes mentions about the suits.
Exactly. Like...
I think they're reserved for Katsu and Pencilgon.
More than likely. Like, I have a feeling, like, obviously, if we saw more of Suzaku, it more of, like, a high-speed, like, attacker. Obviously, we've seen him come flying in and hit Lycagon in the leg and split its leg.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling it's about all he would do.
That might be all this thing can do.
That's all I'm thinking that can do. Obviously, we haven't seen the full suit. Don't know if there's more to it. I doubt we'll ever find out.
I have a feeling as we approach the end of the series, when all three of our heroes are in their mech armors, I think
the nasty ass armors. I think all of them will have their like specific bird, like Sunrock, their mechs. So Sunrock's gonna have his bird. Someone's gonna have like some kind of a cat, and someone's gonna have like a little dinosaur. And I think the horse, right? Wasn't the horse one of them?
Was there a horse?
No, the horse was
I know that
Weatherman's.
I know that was Weatherman, but I thought I saw a horse.
There might have been. I know, like there was a cat in there. There was a dinosaur. Like there's a bunch of different style. Okay. Honestly, I don't think we've seen most of that inventory.
No, not.
Okay, so what I'm ultimately gonna see into the future is they're gonna have their familiars, their mech familiars, and they're gonna go total Power Rangers, and those are gonna fuse together. And then they're going to fight something, and that's going to be a very important...
If that happens, all that's going through my head is, go, Power Ranger.
Yeah, exactly.
I can see Sunraku saying something like that, too.
Yeah, totally.
So I think what's going to happen is Vash is going to be the last of the Colossi that they have to fight.
I can see that.
And before that happens, he's going to fight Lycagon, get his marks removed, and then he's going to be able to rock the suit
Yep, that's
for
definitely
the
what needs
whole
to
fight.
happen.
Yeah, because I remember when we were going over the first season, we had the shadows of all of them.
Yep.
And
now
one of them you could clearly tell was a rabbit.
Mhm.
And we figured it was going to be Don by Sash.
Yep.
It's not obviously for sure, but
It's-
nobody else matches. There's no other giant rabbit we've met yet. Unless he's got a brother.
Well, we've already come to learn that there is a million relatives in this rabbit community. We're being introduced to new ones every couple episodes.
Gives the explanation of fuck like rabbits. So
Yep, that makes sense.
And I mean, we've already fought one. We're attempting to fight the second one. And
well, technically third.
Third, yeah. Don't forget about Weatherman.
yeah, Weatherman's the first one that we fought. I'm talking about the actual Lycagon. So we
But in order to get to the actual Lycagon, you still got to go through it. It's still
so
a
it's
Colossus.
one half. We fought one half of a.
It's just
Colossi.
stage one of two stages.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
I still consider it, because it's like they said, nobody's killed even the clone.
Yeah, nobody knew it was a clone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I would still categorize this as an encounter.
I'd
So
still count
we've
it as, because he said regardless clone or not, it still died.
Yeah. So we fought 1.5, and of the 7.
And the other two are now, one still hasn't been seen. By a player. We've obviously seen it through little cutscenes.
Yep.
And then the fourth,
Kane fought Sigurd.
Akane fought. Did she fight it, or she just
Encountered it for
she
sure.
encountered it?
Yeah.
Because that's where her dragon breath came in.
Oh, yeah, because she was trying to enhance her.
Yep, because
abilities.
she could use that ability based off dragon fire that she could visibly recreate.
Yes.
And that's the only dragon she's seen.
Yep.
Yes. And then
Because it didn't specify if it fought. Obviously,
if you encounter it, you have to fight it.
She's got the scar.
she's got the scar, which they don't just, the Colossi aren't just giving them to them just because you ran into them. Like, you put up a fight and they deemed you worthy to
Correct.
receive
their
debuff.
blessing or whatever,
The
or
curse.
however you would say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Lycagon is going to be the second to last one, and then it's going to be Vash, and he's going to be able to use his mech armor for this final fight, and he's going to save it for that.
Did you guys get a good glimpse on how many mech suits that are in there?
It kind of looked like maybe about like 10.
10? Okay.
Because at one point there was a bunch in a row on each side, so I would have to assume it's probably around 10. There might be more, there could be less.
Right.
It all depends on like the camera angles, but I think it
That's
looked
true.
like there was about like 10.
Yeah. I obviously just took notice that there was suits. I didn't try to count it out. So I'm going to assume that we're going to include more party members into this inventoria, because I would like to assume that Rust would be a part of this mech suit deal, at least as far as a future battles might be
But here's
concerned.
the thing though, that obviously we don't know yet. Is the inventorium only accessible through the Weatherman fight?
Right.
Or is it accessible through defeating any Colossi?
Yeah, maybe it's just a...
And if it's
base
accessible through
item.
any of them, do each person get their own inventorium, or that party gets their own special inventorium, or is that inventorium accessible to anybody who can access it?
Ooh, so you think
I think it's going to be
one,
in everybody.
One
single
inventorium.
inventoria, and everybody who does it has access. So the first 10 members to jump into the inventoria can
Have
just
access to
borrow.
whatever they want. Like, it's not
Right.
just Pencilgons, K's, and Sunraku's. Like, if
Yeah, I think
let's say like Ray and
Saiger 100.
well, yeah, but
The
Ray
Zero
and
versus
Akitsu Akane, right?
Oh,
Yep. Akane.
Let's say like they end up beating I gotta look up.
Katarnid.
Yeah, Katarnid. Do those two get access to their inventorium?
Yeah, we don't know the rules for
Like, it's
inventory.
still unknown, or maybe it's just only accessible through the Weatherman fight.
Yeah, it's very possible.
And the thing is like, then how many times are the Colossi able to be beat? Can you only beat them once? Do they keep respawning? Because
yeah, I don't think they made that clear.
Setsuna has disappeared. So
That's true.
I think once you beat them, you're gone. So it's whoever beats the Colossi gets access to that inventorium.
And it's very specific to you,
It could be.
or at least your party. Yeah, because if Setsuna is gone, she is the...
Or maybe she's just not seeable by Pentagon. Maybe she's still accessible to others who haven't beaten it yet.
Oh, they all have their own personal storyline.
Yeah, because I don't think it went really in depth what happens after they beat them.
Right.
I don't think...
So
I'm not sure. Like, I can see them being gone for good, and I can see them coming back for other players, but I don't. The game is technically the Colossi are too new in the game that nobody's had enough interactions to figure it out.
Yeah, they're still tweaking them.
And they beat Weatherman, but they're not sharing how to get there, so you'll never know if it'll spike that story again.
Right.
So they talk about in this section that I'm looking at, there's 4 armored sets, 4 robots, and we actually see 3 of them. There is a tortoise, a tiger, and then Suzaku, and then there's a 4th one.
Was the tortoise the dinosaur? Because I could have sworn
Yes.
I saw a dinosaur. Okay, I was going to say I could have sworn I saw a dinosaur, like a taller one, not a tortoise,
Right.
in one of the last episodes.
That you're probably thinking of Byakko, the tiger. That's
no,
taller.
because I remember the tiger and then the dinosaur was literally right next to it.
It's a dragon, if you look.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I saw. So it's a dragon.
Yeah, there's
the
a
tortoise is right there and the Suzaku's right there. So it was a dragon. I thought it was more of a dinosaur, but it's a dragon.
Okay, now I need to see
so
this.
so just
I was
to
going to say, like, I know I saw a taller one next to the tiger.
to give our listeners a visual of what we're talking about. There is a screenshot of the Inventoria. There is, but that's a suit. That's probably a suit. That's probably a suit, and that's a suit. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so they're kind of mixed up.
Yeah. So you have your dragon, your tiger, a tortoise, and then Suzaku. Yeah, those 4 are suits in the back. You have your 4 suits, and then you have your 4
Familiar.
robot familiars.
So basically, each robot goes with each suit.
Correct.
So technically, there's 8 in there, but
Yes.
realistically, it's 4 because you control that mech robot however you see it as
With
part of the suit.
correct.
That's going to piss Russ off because that's not a player controllable mech to
That's
what
true.
she wants.
Yeah, not in the manner
It's
that
basically
she's.
going to be like
Yeah.
an AI mech.
Yes.
Like you have control over it to a point where it's like clicking a button on a computer to have it do something than it is actually physically player controlled.
Yeah,
Like,
it's as Lance said, it's an AI. It's an AI mech. It's your familiar.
Yeah.
I don't think she'll care because it's still robots.
yeah.
Yeah. I'll still put money down on Rust being the 4th player for this mech thing because they've already put a lot of attention in her being the mech person of this crew.
I think it's going to be a Kitsukane
Oh, that's another good bet.
because she's been the deemed worthy individual.
Yeah, that's very true.
But that doesn't mean that the others still can't get access to it because
Oh, she's
Pencil-
not part of Inventoria.
Pencil-
Oh, shit.
yeah.
Neither's Rust, though.
yeah, but Pencilgon and Kay weren't deemed worthy. They still have it.
Yeah, but they fought with Sunraku
But let's say that they beat Katarnid.
Yeah, we still have
Like I said, the Inventorium still has so many secrets around it other than
Yes.
they got it from beating Weatherman. So we don't know if it's him locked and they're the only 3 who will ever have that or what it could be. Can they technically there's a lot of space in there. They could still every time they beat a Colossi, maybe it adds more to it.
Mm-hmm.
One thing you have to remember from season 1 is Weatherman was supposed to be one of the last ones.
Oh, interesting. That is true, too.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if the other Colossi are just give boosts.
Yeah, they definitely got it buffed.
Yeah, they're going to get a bunch of drops and stuff, but I'm wondering if
That was more
Weatherman
like
was-
a late game drop that was supposed to happen. So I have a feeling with it being in that way, it's one and done. They kill the Colossi, it does not come back. You snooze, you lose kind of deal. Like,
Yeah, because that would make sense. And what's her name? The one who brings you to the Weatherman area? Setsuna. She's gone.
But that's like what me and Lance were talking about. Maybe it's only not visible to that party because they completed that quest.
But
Because
if you
she's
remember,
attached to a quest line.
if you remember the brooch, Setsuna is in a new location because the brooch produces the flowers to bring whoever
Which
touches
guides her back to where's, but that doesn't mean it's going to go to anything specific. It could just be like a little side quest like, hey, this is our life now. Like, you know what I
Sure.
mean? Like,
Right. Like, what if Akane wanted to go do it and, like, it happens to spawn for her, but not for Pencilgon because she's already completed it?
Maybe.
it's more that we'll have to find out. I feel like if they don't touch back on it at all, it's one and done.
You're right.
I think because it's unique, it's a one and done. But I guess we'll have to wait.
It's
and
just
see.
with a giant world boss is what makes it interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's very.
I guess what we might see next season with Katarnid, what happens to that world
Yeah.
once Katarnid's defeated. If that world disappears, it's one and done. It's not happening again.
But it might also because because the kid will get revenge for his father.
Exactly. So it all kind of depends on how this next
How the scenario
fight kind of
finishes.
plays out.
Yep.
Listen, we can talk that, but I want to see a third party try to activate one of these unique scenarios. Because the whole reason this Katarnan thing happened was because this bar was roughed up and this crew was looking for more people to come help this kid. So I want to see a third party basically reenact something that we've done in our party and be able to activate something. We just need legit confirmation that this isn't from our point of view. This is literally just the way the story works.
And that might happen with one of the other ones, like maybe the unique scenario for...
What if Sylvia activates one of these unique scenarios?
No, because she's going back to...
I don't think she's leaving.
I do. She's going back. We'll say the dragon. They go fight the dragon next.
Seagworm?
Yeah, Seagworm. And they defeat him, and now the ability to fight him is gone. Mm-hmm. We will have confirmation that
like Seagworm gets beaten before Sunraku can get there, and then we're going to find out that it's inaccessible? I think
Sunraku is going to be the one that defeat all the Class A.
Oh, you think he's going to be...
He's the main character. Yeah. They're going to give him the opportunity to defeat all of them. But it's going to be like, all right, this one was easy.
Yeah.
And like...
Okay. Well, to put all of our theories to the test, I would personally like to see a unique Colossi getting defeated before Sunraku can be there. And because it was defeated before he got there, it's inaccessible. And that would put all of our thoughts to rest.
Fair. Maybe this orchestra of Doom Echo gets defeated before...
Oh, that one too. That's the one that's never been seen, right? It's only been in text, never physically seen.
Maybe.
That sounds... One of those was
like that. Yeah. So that might be what happens is one of them gets defeated before he gets the opportunity. I think in season 3, we're going to fight... I would say we're going to fight 5 of the final 7. I think he's going to speed run the Colossi.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
I have a feeling they're definitely going to fight another one. It kind of depends on how long they bring out this Katarnid fight.
Mm-hmm. Math is hard. It's going to be 4 because Lycagon's going to be there. And then...
I don't think they fight Lycagon in season 3.
No, I think it's going to be season 4.
Yeah. I have a feeling they're going to fight one that we have not seen yet.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to go after Seagworm. Mm-hmm. They're going to leave him be.
You think it's too obvious?
I think it's too obvious, and they're going to need a special team for that one, obviously, because with it being a flying dragon, they're going to have to pair up with Animalia for that.
Sure.
Because they have obviously tactics to take down dragons, as we saw. I have a feeling it's going to be one of the ones we have not, that hasn't been discovered yet, and I have a feeling they're just going to randomly come across it.
Sure.
That's my opinion, though.
Yeah, I'm totally on board with Seagworm not being next, and Lycagon being second to last, and Visash being absolute last. So whatever's left in between, I'm 100% for that. I know in my Anime Lounge short flights, I did break all down who was all there, but I didn't write that down in these notes. Because there was an episode where they broke down the rest of the uniques.
Okay, so just doing a little bit of research. My theory is going to be completely wrong because I thought the series was getting closer to an end. It's not. We're probably halfway through.
2 seasons you think is halfway through?
I'd say maybe a third.
I'm talking about the manga is about halfway through. So
we're talking it out, I would assume probably about 7 seasons.
6 to 7, yeah.
Oh, where they are currently today with the manga?
Because if you look at it,
we got a lot.
They're beating one Colossi season.
Pretty close.
And so I have a feeling it's going to be one Colossi season and it ends with them finding the next one.
Could be.
Season
somewhere
2 didn't even defeat.
Well, it
a half.
I mean, they didn't officially defeat a Colossi, but they knocked out the clones and then went right into another fight. So, I mean, I count it still as part of it.
Yeah. This is a big stepping stone for sure.
So then maybe they defeat Katarnid in season 3 and then they defeat another one.
Or at least come damn close, or something crazy's got to happen to where we're about to, and season 4 can be the twofer.
It could. I don't think the next season they're killing multiple. I think if at anything it's going to be Katarnid, and then to be honest, it could go anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Well, we gotta finish. We have to do Katarnid. We have to do the game, The competition, I feel like the competition is going to be 6 to 10 episodes. I feel like that's going to be half our season right there.
Yeah, that's going to be 4 matches.
And on top of that,
which is
potentially.
Also, I think next season we find out, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm spacing on the name. I think this is correct. I think next season it also focuses on who Bahamut is.
Oh my God, I forgot about Bahamut.
Because they do mention it in the very first episode of this season because of what happened at the end of the Weathermon fight with Setsuna. I have a feeling next season might revolve around trying to figure out who Bahamut is and then trying to locate it. I don't think Bahamut is a Colossi.
No,
but maybe like sub-Colossi power or something like close to one.
I think
like
it's definitely going to be an enemy.
Yeah, like a unique boss.
Right.
But not necessarily a Colossi.
Yeah, like maybe it would unlock
more to the world story.
To the story, such a unique item or weapon or something, obviously something super ass important that's going to give Pencilgon quite the leg up.
Okay, but we need to, talk about season 2 stuff and get back into our original topic of conversation, which was the Lycagon fight, which we really haven't talked about too much. It was fun. It was so much fun. It was so good.
It was fantastic. What pissed me off, though, is we did not find out how Animalia was able to figure out its exact location.
Ooh, good point. How the hell
they were just there and they're like, well, if it's got to do with fluffy animals, we know how to track it. And then just appeared when the guild who spent a year trying to find it could never figure out its spawn pattern.
Yeah, this is exactly what the Saiger Guild is all about, is Lycagon. And then all of a sudden Animalia knows how to summon or trigger this
within
event.
2 days.
Right.
Malia, when she's on a roll for a fluffy animal that she can't touch in real life, she's going to go after it, I guess. I don't know. Anime logic, that's what I'm going to say.
Basically.
Another disappointing thing.
Okay.
Is Ray's ultimate with Armageddon
yes.
had so much possibility to be one of the best sounding bits I've ever fucking seen, and I was slightly disappointed.
Yeah, it could be like Atomic from Eminence and Shadow, and
Or it could have been from like Crimson Moon from Fire Force. Like, it had so much potential.
All that bass.
Don't get me wrong. Beautiful.
It was so good.
Just the visuals of it was beautiful, but I wish they put a little bit more tone and depth into the sound of it.
Yeah.
Because it was fucking beautiful to watch.
I can give you that. The music, the choreograph of the music is just kind of when it comes to certain audio tones. Fair.
There's all that, but since we've already discovered that there is such an intense amount more of information to come from the series itself, and we got Saiger Zero's ultimate attack in season 2.
Yep.
That kind of leaves her to like what's more to be desired from her if this is considered like one of the best attacks.
Well, and I don't think we see it again. Like, the setup to it is too long.
It's too long. She's going to be a good support character. She's going to be basically frontline, super strong, don't have to worry about protecting
just a DPS tank.
Yeah, just a tank. That's all she's going to be for.
I wouldn't say all. I mean, her abilities, like her Catastrophe and Apocalypse were able to stagger like a gun. She's got damage. Yes. She's not so much a tank, but she is bulky and can take hits.
Yes.
It's just you go into like a D&D theme or WoW theme. She's like a paladin. You can fuck shit up, but also still protect. Like, she's going to be pivotal, I have a feeling, to future fights.
I'll give you that.
The only thing I would like to see is her being able to do this quicker. Like, combo Catastrophe and Apocalypse together, and then what was the ultimate form called again? Armageddon. And like just being able to use Armageddon just faster.
The only downfall with Armageddon is it felt like it was an hour-long chant. But realistically, it was probably a minute-long chant. Yeah. And that's where I don't think we're ever going to see it again, because the quicker they're beating these Colossi, they're going to keep buffing the Colossi to where they're going to make sure they're taking out the biggest threat, which, if someone's usually chanting something and it's a damage dealer, you're going to naturally, look at Lycagon. It focused the hell out of Ray until
she
Emil
all aggro towards her.
Until Emil literally was able to rip apart part of its body.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a one-time use thing because it takes forever, because it basically cuts her stats in half for 24 hours.
For a full day. It's high risk, high reward.
It just takes too long. So she's just going to be I'm going to use my other moves kind of thing.
Because if if Lycagon's clones didn't die from that,
Yep. She was done.
They all would have died.
Yep.
Because Sunraku does not have the damage.
Not comparatively.
Nowhere near comparatively, because he was literally left hook, right hook, like 100 to 200 hits, and Lycagon's like, all right, bitch, move on, and just walked away and ran at Ray like he was a fly on the wall.
Yeah, his ultimate.
His ultimate's a big repercussion to him because it would have killed him except for his endurability.
No, it was the three Akane and Emil saved him.
No, they saved him from falling from fully dying.
Yes.
But he said when he went back into the inventorium, not the inventorium, but when he got hit by the recoil,
yep.
The only reason he survived is because of his endurability that left him at 1.
Yep.
But the falling was going to kill him if he didn't find a way to stop.
Yeah,
that's the only. An ultimate that's going to kill you is not worth it.
It's not an ultimate. It's self-destruct.
For real. It's like, oh, I killed the boss, but now I'm dead. It doesn't matter.
And I get no rewards.
But that goes to show also what kind of person Sunraku is, because he's willing to risk his life to make sure his team succeeds.
Yeah,
well, he knew it was going to be.
He knew he was going to, but like, regardless, like he knew, like if for some reason, like if nobody was going to catch him, he knew the risk going into it.
Yeah, they weren't going to defeat Lycagon if he didn't do that anyway. So it was an all or nothing kind of move anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the thing is like his ultimate messed up Lycagon. Yeah. Bad. Like obviously nowhere near Armageddon. That it's like Ray said. That's why she's known as the ultimate weapon. Or not just the because weapon. What is
the attack master?
Attack master.
I was gonna say weapons master. That sound right.
No, different thought. That's why she's the weapons master.
No, I got you saying.
Damn it. That's why she's the attack master, is because it is the most single highest damaging move in all of Shangri-La.
At least so far.
That we've seen so far. But the fact that you need to hit 5 hits in one form, 5 hits in the other, and we never saw her use the same form twice, is there restrictions? Obviously, there's cooldowns.
Yep.
So how long are the cooldowns? Obviously, if she's got to switch form, wait a minute, and then hit with that other form, like, do you have to do staggered forms? Like, there's too much to it. It takes too long to build up. And then on top of that, the chant leaves you vulnerable because you can't move.
Well, she talked about that was the first time she had used it actually used it in a fight.
That's because she can never get the chant off.
Yeah, because you need somebody protecting you for 2 minutes.
That's too long. And that's the thing. Like, you can't take your highest DPS person out of a fight for 2 minutes.
Yep.
To do it. And then another downfall is, like she said, is like, as soon as I'm done chanting, I have to hit Lycagon instantly.
Yep. That is a terrible ultimate.
Luckily, the thing had range. Like, it was a straight line, like, whip looking thing, and it destroyed anything in its path.
Yep.
Yeah. At this point, I can only hope that she gets some kind of buff, whether she just obtains some kind of new skill, or she just somehow learns how to do this faster. Otherwise,
I don't think she's gonna. I think she's gonna find excuses to stay around because she wants to be around Hizutome.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And exactly like that. It's also why, like, I love Saiger 0.
Yes,
Ray is fucking annoying.
Yeah, she's
oh my god, he looked at me mid fight. Like, just fight. Like, you would be hitting. Like, they're literally. She's like worried about, like, oh, how does this guy or how does this girl know him? And then she's like, I could have been swinging. Like,
yeah, then it's
children.
Like, we stayed together all night.
You gotta throw personalities into all this.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, though, because it's a VR game. Like, I get it. Like, I understand it. But it's like, you have such a badass character, and then you're just fangirling over a dude in a bird mask.
Well, she's loved him since the day they met, so... Or she's admired him. I think that's what she said. And now she's just fangirling all the time. And it's fine. That's something they're going to have to play into more. She's going to have to, like, admit who she actually is.
I don't think she will for any time soon. Definitely not next season.
I hope it happens soon.
I mean, maybe it might happen with the Katarna fight. You never know. Because she did just kind of dip out of it and just never came back.
Sorry, out.
She's, I'm out. But... I have a feeling it's also because it was her first time literally, like, fighting. Okay, I can't say first time fighting, but like first time actually teaming up for a massive fight. Because if I remember, he basically put up like an SOS flare and pulled her in to help save him when they were in the woods going to the Weatherman fight.
In season 1?
In season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like an SOS flare. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but basically like, hey, I need help. And then she
like
was teleported to him to be able to help them survive. Because that was when
Pentagon's
they set up the ambush on her old crew, and they were being chased by a couple of them.
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah, it was the ones that didn't get caught. I think we have talked about all we can about Leinenkugle, so it is a good time that we take a break and we can continue on with the rest of Shangri-La Frontier Season 2.
Hey everyone, Lance here trying to promote our new podcast, D&D Noobs, that we have started, and we would really appreciate it if you guys would go and give us a listen anywhere you find podcasts, where Matt and a couple other friends of ours join in on my shenanigans, and we play through a post-apocalyptic world where we fight some bad priests and try to save the world. So I hope we can see you guys there. Again, that's D&D Noobs, that's Noobz. And now we'll get back to our program.
And now that we're back from our break, I just kind of want to quickly go over basically the first half of the stuff that happened in season 1 prior to the Leinenkugle fight. Akane, she's going to be an interesting character because, as Tyler and I were talking about, we think she's going to be the reason why after the Karnan fight, the next Colossi that they fight is going to be the
Seagworm?
Seagworm. Because she's there. She
like, I hope
it's
not, but it makes sense because they have the location.
Correct.
It's
too easy.
It's too much. It's too easy. I have a feeling they're like, well, let's go knock out the next one right away.
Yep.
Instead of giving somebody else the chance to be able to get there.
For our listeners, real quick, when Matt says that him and Ty were talking, this was off recording.
Yeah, this was during our break.
Yeah, because prior to that break, Tyler and I had been saying that, like, it seems too obvious that Seagworm might be next. But now he's contradicting himself with Matt. Like, is it going to be the obvious, is Seagworm next? Or is it going to be, let's not make it obvious and leave Seagworm for later?
Yeah, I can see it going both ways. If Seagworm isn't next, they're going to stumble across it on accident. Mm-hmm. Maybe going to Seagworm, or who knows?
I think in real time, it would make sense that they'd be like, well, it only makes sense to, like, let's go attack the next one that's known, and then something buttfuckery might happen, and then they get off track, and then another unique monster appears on them.
Exactly, because like they have the location.
Yep.
They have information on how it fights, how to go in prepared and attack patterns, stuff like that. It's almost too obvious that I'm hoping it's not it, because it's just like it's
an obvious goal.
It's almost too easy, but I can see why they're like, all right, well, we're gonna go knock this one on next because we don't need somebody else doing it before us,
and it might lead into something else that they're attempting to do. Because remember, Vash gave Sunraku tasks that he needs to go to, and maybe where that Colossi is just happens to be where one of the things that he needs for Vash is.
I don't necessarily think it is, because they already passed through that area.
Yeah, but
because he was going through it, and he's like, well, what's that?
Whatever I remember what you're getting at is that when Sunraku was going through all these areas to go to Fifticia or whatever the place was called.
It's where they fought Leinenkugle.
He was saying that he wanted to double up on quest because it was along the way, but he was running short on time because he needed to meet up with Rust. So he did have to skip out on what Vash wanted him to do, and he was going to put it off till later.
But what are the odds that Leinenkugle can spawn right where another Colossi is?
You never know.
Like, you do never know. It's just, I don't think there is a Colossi there.
No, I think it's a stepping stone to the next.
And it might be
option.
because, like, if we're like, our thought process is where Vash is the last one, maybe that's his goal, is to help push along the selected few to get there, and maybe the items are relevant to find one of the two unknown.
Sure.
that we don't have a clue on. I feel like it is relevant to the story. I just don't think there's one specifically there.
No, I don't think it's going to lead to a unique Colossi.
It could lead
But
to a unique
it will be
scenario
important.
based off of it, though.
Yeah.
So the 3 items that he needs to get are called the receiver, the positioner, and the transmitter.
This is what Vash wants?
Yes.
And I have a feeling that could be used to locate something. Who knows
Sure.
what? It could be an item that could spark it, or it could be to the physical unique scenario itself.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And remember, this is when talks about when the soul of the divinity shakes, the rabbit will weave the epic tale.
Or maybe that's the items that he needs to get to Vash, and Vash becomes the Colossi and unlocks his power. Maybe he's using him to unlock something for himself, and that's what triggers that last one. So maybe we might not even see those items.
we might get one.
Might get one in the time frame until that fight's coming up like last season.
Mm.
Yep. He's able to find, he stumbles across one trying to farm or trying to do
Whatever it
Yeah.
might be.
Yeah, so that'll be very interesting.
You know, I would hate because we got these missions in season 1. So, like, we know of this stuff, and technically, Sunraku can go for these missions right off the get go. And then we're hypothesizing that Vash is going to be last. But because we knew of this information so early, it would troll us viewers that the final boss is such an easy boss. And it's like, well, we should have gone for this easier or earlier in the season.
Vash is going to be compoundingly more difficult than anything he's faced.
I'm hoping so, but I'm just saying, like, what if there's that troll at the end of the season, the series?
Yeah, Vash gives himself up.
Yeah.
You did so well. Yeah, you win.
Good job. You are now the Vorpal bunny. It's like, oh, okay. That anticlimactic.
Ooh, what if there is an actual Vorpal soul that gives Sunraku some form of a transformation, like a Super Saiyan state?
He turns into a bunny.
He becomes a Colossi himself.
The devs would probably
Speaking
love
of
it.
Vorpal, did
Yes.
you notice in the cutscene during the Lycagon fight
Probably
that
not.
Kisu Akane actually had the Vorpal collar on?
What?
You could see the tag
Ooh.
flying behind her while she was running away from Lycagon. She did have the collar on.
Did not notice that.
She loves running around with collars?
So
Is that what you're saying?
what was the collar? Double stats, but half the experience?
Half the experience. I don't know if it doubled stats, but it was for sure half the experience, which basically made him work harder to earn those levels. I can't remember what else came with it, but she did have the Vorpal collar on
Very interesting.
during that Lycagon
Did not
fight.
pick up on that.
I'm almost certain that's the Vorpal collar. I could be wrong.
Yeah, so Tyler just showed me a picture of her wearing definitely some form of a necklace. But at this point, I can't even remember what Sunraku was wearing. Okay. Yeah, that definitely looks like it.
So when I look up pictures, all I'm showing are on Sunraku, but that does not mean it can't be on other characters.
But the thing is, it never specifically said if she ever got it.
That's,
It's just more so of a small tidbit of information that I kind of caught.
Yep.
He's here, like, I'll show you what I showed Lance. So here is the Vorpal soul collar.
Yeah, it's the red. That's the red sash. Yep.
And then
blue and red. It kind of looks like a collar, and then it's got a red tag on the back.
And then here is a picture from the episode during the Lycagon fight. It's very, very close and similar.
Yeah,
the picture's
tag.
not the exact same, like the logo on the back, but the sash color and style is.
Correct.
But that's what I saw, is they were literally running and I could see it. So, she's got it. So now she's getting less XP from everything and whatever other bonuses come from it.
I still feel like it was a double stats.
Oh yeah. If you look at this picture, it's she's definitely.
Experience points you get will be half, but the status points you will gain when leveling up will be multiplied by 2.5. So
The rewards.
Yep. So instead of one level, you get one level to put into your attributes. You got 2.5 times that.
Yeah, so you'll
So you
slowly grow. But
You're going to
grow,
be stronger, but your level's not going to be going up as fast.
Wait, is that right off the bat, or is that when you level up?
So every time you level up, you get experience points to use towards luck, power, agility. Right. So for your experience, you receive half your experience. So it's slower to level up, but when you level up, you get more points to use towards your abilities and like attributes.
Yep, that sounds right.
As the compensation for the slower level.
Right.
So you level up slower, but you can be stronger from it. That's that trade-off on it.
Okay. Yeah. In the long game, that sounds way better.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we basically had a Kitsukane. I think she's going to stick around for the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Saiger Zero is going to stick around for the long haul. She's going to keep finding excuses to stick around.
I have a feeling that they'll eventually join their guild.
The Wolf
Gang.
Wolf Gang. I can see that. Ooh, yeah, because Saiger Zero is going to have to leave the Saiger.
Because she even said that the Saiger Zero is based around hunting Lycagon, and she only joined it because of her sister.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And she doesn't really care to do that. So I have a feeling maybe she ends up leaving to join them. Maybe. That is a reach.
She confesses to her sister that she wants to
follow him and
be
there for him and all that.
Yep.
Yeah. I can even see a little side story about like her battling with wanting to go, and because of that her sister kicks her out, leaves her guild list for a couple episodes, and then she somehow convinces Wolfgang to be adopted into him.
And I have a feeling the one person who fights back on it obviously is Pencilgon.
Yeah,
I mean, because she wants it just them three and as little outsider as possible.
Yep, she wants to absorb as much of the profits that she can, but if she has to spread out the wealth between four plus people, because I'd imagine this Wolfgang crew getting bigger than just our three.
Because I have a feeling, why do I keep forgetting her name?
Rust?
No, the Kitsu Akane. Because they met in Burp.
Yep. Yeah, she was the first.
That's where Kay and Pencilgon also had their biggest feud. Well, not really feud. Okay, no, that wasn't that game.
No, that was
but that's where from season 1 where he needed to blow off steam to learn how to, like with the glitches, that's where he went and fought Kay.
Yep.
So if Katsu, it was like from that as well, there's a good chance that if Sunraku was fighting this person, there's a good chance that they fought, and maybe that could help pull her in.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, maybe for all we know, Akane could have played another game that Pencilgon played on the side, and they're like, oh, you were this character, we just so happen to be super close in that game, and then she just so happens to be some kind of...
Well, that assumes Pencilgon is friends with anybody.
That's fucking fact. Yeah. I mean, you see her soft side with Setsuna, and then you see just her normal side with literally everyone else.
The literal mini arc where she's like, how do I get stuff? Oh, I backstab, I trick, I do all these things. So yeah, no, it's definitely...
For all we know, Kane could have been a victim of this too, and then that could just add to the story, like why she hates Pencilgon. She's going to remember who she is, and yeah,
that could be maybe why she just doesn't join.
Yeah, maybe.
That too.
So to play off of Lance's mini arc thing, I think what could happen is that her sister, Ray's sister, is going to get frustrated that she hasn't been around, and she's going to give her an ultimatum where it's like, hey, you need to either participate in our clan or you need to leave and go with Sunraku. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be essentially the mini arc, is that she's going to be hesitant towards either or.
Yeah, I definitely see an ultimatum coming out of that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Maybe. Because, she didn't want to be a part of the Katarna fight. That was accidental.
That was
that was shitty fucking timing, because she went to click leave party and another pop-up said, do you want to join? And clicked yes. Instead. And then got kidnapped.
Just to be a little specific, she didn't want to leave. It's because she was being pressured to join her sister in another mission.
Yeah, because they had other duties, but it just goes to show that she was going to take her sister's side over Sunraku's
Yeah, she was
side.
about to. Yep.
She just got fucking pop-up gypped into joining and then tossed into a barrel like a sack of potatoes and just yeeted out of the building.
Yep, that was so funny.
Yeah, I definitely appreciated those Barrelmen. That was...
The Barrelmen was funny.
So unneeded, but so goddamn funny.
We're here to collect our package. What? And then I loved the accidental, click to join pop-up message where it's like, I guess I need to get out and going on a mission. Oh, because we've all done that.
Oh, definitely.
You're just trying to skip through a bunch of stuff and you're like, I didn't mean to press
there's
that.
been times where I've been trying to click on something right when someone calls and I click decline. I'm like, oops, my bad.
And then I'm like, yeah, they'll call back. That was super funny. And then, I love the fact that when they open the barrel and it's just Saiger Zero just chilling in the barrel.
Yeah, on almost like fetal position, just tucked in, legs tucked.
Yeah, then not only that, but Akane and C Crew jump out of the barrel, and then Saiger just fucking burst the barrel open because her fat ass suit.
Yes. That's a weird phrase, but yes.
Her bulky suit. How about that?
Large. Yes, absolutely.
But anyway, Matt made mention about the first. We started this post-break conversation trying to get back into the first half. Let's just, before we overlook everything, the first half of this season was essentially the Scorpion and the golden Scorpion fight.
You had the meeting between the groups.
The meeting, the dive down in the underground lab.
Yep, which was where he got the
Magic Operations Unit.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the Nephilim arc.
Yep. So, and then also Belloc becoming an ancient craftsman. I was going to say legacy craftsman, but the ancient craftsman.
Then we had Nephilim Hollow as well.
I will admit, when we jumped into this little mini arc with Nephilim Hollow, I was like, come on, I do not want to get away from the true story. But of course, everything makes sense as we progress through it.
It literally found a way to literally progress the story because they wouldn't be where they're at without that little mini break that he needed.
Yeah. This all worked out because we had to defeat Rust, and Rust just so happens to know of a unique scenario.
And all because he can't wear armor.
And then I really like the fact that they keep doing this where they're bringing up previous games and it's helping in Shangri-La because, of course, Akane is from a different game in Season 1.
Yep. I mean, it definitely adds to the story, so we don't have to, fucking pound us viewers with strictly SLF material. We can take a breather. If you're hearing sniffling stuff, Matt's dog is down here joining us at the moment. But we take a breather out of SLF. We get to play with a whole different game. And then we appreciate it more when we jump back into SLF.
And it also just gives you more insight on who Sunraku is. Because you look at him, hasn't played it for months, went in with his own creative design that literally is unlike anybody else. Because later in the season, it says you're just as reckless and unpredictable as Sylvia is. It was able to take out one of the top person in that game after not touching it for how long?
3 months.
Exactly.
Yeah, 3 months.
So it shows just how good of a player he is and how smart and innovative and creative he can be.
Right. I think innovative is probably the bigger word to take out of that.
Yeah.
Because you can be smart. He's very dumb smart because how reckless he is, but he's very, very innovative.
Innovative.
Jesus Christ.
Innovative.
Thank you.
Words are hard.
I gotta slow it down.
Innovative.
Innovative.
That's basically what I was gonna say. But because he is like that, that's what makes him so amazing.
And he's just within glances knows exactly what to do. He's a cheat code. He's a walking cheat code.
He comes up with plans on the fly instantly.
Yep. The first half of the season was really good. And one thing, I guess this is on the second half of the season, but one little detail that I noticed on my second watch through was when Sunraku pulls his all-nighter in the hotel, his eyes, the bags under his eyes are pure black. He's just dead tired.
Oh, I didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah, because he's fucking wearing a gas mask.
Well, not when he's by himself, but yes. And I like the amount and attention to detail that they play into this, where it's oh yeah, when you've been up for 30 hours, you're going to be tired and you're going to look tired.
Yeah. So now that we've pretty much finished the first half of this season, let's jump to the second half of the season, which is basically going to cover the Guitar Nid scenario and the gaming competition.
The exhibition match against the USA team.
Right.
The GGC.
Global Gaming Competition. Was that?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Center. Well, it's center, but yes.
Oh, okay. Close enough.
Yep. Yeah, they just keep calling it the exhibition.
Right. So we've kind of danced around it, but we all know how we got to Guitar Nid's Upside Down World. We did this unique scenario because of Rust, and we fought a bunch of fish monsters, and Guitar Nid brought everybody into an Upside Down World, which is pretty cool. I like the idea that they can breathe underwater. Things seem to be a little bit opposite, but they're not opposite. Air.
Well, it's just water-filled air or something.
The sky is below them, and the true Earth is above them, so that's cool enough. The concept is interesting enough.
Basically, they're going to have to fight 4 guards.
Tower guards.
Yeah, they're going to have to fight the 4 tower guards and essentially make themselves worthy of Contorted, is what it seemed like.
So is this whale considered one of the tower guards?
No, that's just the god of the sea, or
Yeah.
the king of the sea.
King of the
Okay,
Sea.
so this was just a third
There's just
party.
like an epic,
Random encounter.
yeah, like a rare boss encounter.
But
Yeah.
it shows up at night.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess I kind of missed out on this kind of detail. I mean, obviously the towers are there, and we saw that there was like what looked like an elven mermaid, whatever was like trapped inside, shackled up. So what am I missing here? That we have to defeat these? What?
Yep. Yeah, we're going to have to defeat the 4 towers. Give me one. So,
Yeah, because they have the 7-day time limit.
Yep.
But they don't know exactly what they're needing to do, but they get the information from...
The surroundings. They just got
No, it's from the dude.
I
the
wrote that.
shark,
Yeah.
It starts on A.
The merman.
Abara.
Abara. Abura.
Bura.
Aruba.
Aruba, Jamaica. But yeah, like they get information from him about the tower guards, and he kind of puts 2 and 2 together that the time limit with the tower guards, he's got to knock out the tower guards in order to gain access to whatever it might be, or obviously because we see they're indestructible. They can't be destroyed because they reflected the
super hyper
the
beam.
king, I can't remember the name, but the orcas attack back at it.
Yep.
Which is the reason why they were able to kill it.
Yep.
And I do not want to mess with that tower guard. Holy hell. That thing just looked terrifying.
Yeah, I'm at a loss of words. I don't know what to expect. Like, how are they gonna take care of these towers? Like, is this gonna be an infiltration kind of mission, or is it gonna be like a shut off, like from the outside kind of thing?
So it negates damage from magic attacks, and then
So Siger Zero needs to perform another.
so the
Siger Zero, otherwise, Sunraku can use his Guilt of Breel
yeah he can
to be
he can
able
use
to pound his
daggers.
way through
Sure.
with it because it's more of a brawler
Mm-hmm.
style, like a bludgeoning in a way.
So one of them negates magic, another negates long range attacks, another negates close range attacks, and then the last one negates physical attacks.
Thanks for the spoiler. We didn't know any of that yet.
Yeah, well, now you know the 4 gates.
Well, now you know.
Now
Yeah,
you
because
know.
we only knew because he said he only knows one, and it can negate magic attacks.
Yeah,
Or
basically,
it could seal magic attacks, or however he
yeah,
worded it.
it rebounds the attacks is essentially what happens.
See, but is that the power of the guard, or is that just the power of the towers?
Oh, that was the tower. Sorry.
I was gonna say yeah, because I'm pretty sure that's just the power of the tower to keep it alive and standing.
Yeah. Sorry.
Wait, just to be clear, do you think that's the power of all the towers, or of that one specific tower?
I'm gonna go with the 1.
Yeah, I'm thinking the one.
So maybe then the power of the tower is reflected based on who the guard is.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I am really looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Do you think we're going to get the fights in the GGC, all of it, or do you think they're going to swap back and forth?
We're going to get all of the fights first, considering the season ended with them literally about to go into the fight. So obviously they can't take a break and go
Good point. Good.
go back into Shangri-La in order
Yeah.
to do anything. But that's not saying that's not going to cut to other people's story progression in that area.
Yeah, that's exactly what I
So
was
they
gonna
might
say.
cut in and out, but it won't be with Sunraku.
Yeah.
I have a feeling maybe we'll see Raylog back in.
Yep.
Okay.
Or maybe, well, I don't know if we're really going to see a whole lot of Rust and Mold, but I have a feeling maybe
I'd be a
Akitu
little surprised
Akane, we
if
might
didn't get
see a little bit.
of her.
We probably will, but like I have a feeling might see more Ray down there and Akitu Akane.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
That
would-
makes sense.
That's basically what I was about to say too.
After at least 24 hours, so her attacks come back.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have a feeling that's mostly why she logged out.
Yeah,
And it's got to be coming up, and it's going to be that night that the 24 hours will. So technically, when Sunraku relogged in the next day, she should be fine because the fight with Lycagon happened at night on but technically day 0,
Yep.
because they got into that underground area the next day.
Yep.
So she should have her powers
At
back.
least a couple hours later.
Yeah, because she should have her powers back by now. Or, well, like her full power
Stats.
back.
Full stats. Yeah.
Okay. Very, very interesting. So then I guess let's get into the GGC exhibition fight, which is a knockout fight, which is what we had talked about. So what's going to happen is they need to essentially kill 2 hours to allow for K to have enough time to finish his world tournament and get into the exhibition prior to what would be his turn to play. Because they said it should take about 3 hours in total. He starts an hour early. So they need to kill at least 2 hours.
Well, what I'm thinking was the fight that we're fighting is 3 sets of 10-minute matches, right?
Yep.
And if 3 people fight, that's an hour tops. Absolute tops, which is almost impossible because it's not like your match is going to end in a perfect 10 minutes. Absolute tops is going to be an hour and a half. Maybe you can throw in a little bit of break time in between sessions.
Yep.
But that's kind of what we're playing with is hour and a half plus breaks. And we need to get K back here.
So the rules for the fight are knockout. So essentially what's going to happen is you need to win 2 out of 3, which means you need to win the first one or lose the first one, and then win the next 2. And then that first person is done. So then you go and fight person number 2. So person number 1 will fight person number 2. And then they will need to win 1 and then lose the next 2 so that person number 2 can fight person number 2, win 2, lose 1.
Okay, so this is a survival knockout.
Yeah, it's survival knockout.
You have essentially 2 lives.
You have, yeah.
You have to, if every individual match is the best 2 out of 3.
Yeah, it's not, because it's best 2 out of 3. So realistically, they want to win their first match.
Yep.
Throw the second match, and then win the third one in order to push it to the next round. And then the next round, they try to win the first match, lose the second match, and then lose the third. So now that's the second person versus the second person to maximize the time. And right there kills an hour.
Yep.
As long as
given they can draw it out exactly that time frame.
Yeah.
But with that being said, like I was wanting to talk about before, if it's like that, yes, Sunraku is going against Sylvie. He is going to throw on purpose so K gets his chance.
Yeah,
exactly.
K is going to get there like during or right before the third match, because I think what's going to happen is Sunraku is going to lose the first one, win the second one. K is going to get there. Actually, you know what? No, I think he's going to win the first one, lose the second one, and then K is going to show up like either right before the match starts or during that match. And
I have a feeling Sunraku's going to have her on the ropes and could have her and will purposely throw in order for K to get his fight because that's what kind of person he is.
I was going to say, I think very specifically he can land the finishing blow, but because he understands
whiffs and takes the final blow himself.
He very purposefully loses, makes it look like an accident, and then maybe K will notice this later.
I have a feeling K will notice it instantly with him being a pro gamer, but so will Sylvie.
Right.
Because he's not a pro gamer. Those two are. They can easily tell when someone's trying or purposely throwing the match, but I have a feeling he will do that just so K has the chance to beat him. But then K's got to walk through 2 people himself.
Yeah, because he's going to have to beat
But you beat Sylvie, you're going to walk through their last person anyways.
Correct. Because that was her concern, is that she was afraid that she wouldn't have an opportunity to battle K. That's why she's going third.
So, yeah, it's going to be an honorable kind of idea, but the idea that he threw a match just to give someone a rematch for their own personal glory.
Yeah, he's gonna have some like self conflict where it's like, do I really do this? And then he's like, yeah, because this is the whole reason why we're here, or something along those lines.
Yeah, because like going back to the Lycagon fight, he even said, he's like, am I really just going to throw this just to avoid this situation? He's like, no, like I'm not going to do that. So he's going to have that self-conflict on throwing the match for K, but K is going to mean so much to him at that point that he almost needs to do it for him to be able to give K that ability to do what he came there to do.
Yeah. He's going to swallow his pride and give it to K. That being said, you guys want to talk characters? Who do you think they're going to be? Do you think K is going to stick with the volcano guy?
Yes.
I kind of feel like he's going to, because he's already put so much time and effort into using him. But at the same rate, we've already seen that he's already feeling discouraged from...
Sunraku literally have zero experience on him and was still able to dodge and not be able to get hit.
Right. So... we don't know all of the rules of this competition, so in between each of these like potential lives, are they able to switch characters mid-game? Like after you die, can you swap to another character?
They might be able to, because technically when you die, the match is over, then you got to go back, come up with whoever, like to maybe counter, like with Sylvia still staying on the same person, you might try something different the next match. I have a feeling they're going to be allowed to rotate characters.
I can see something like this. So if they can rotate characters, I don't care if this is going to be Kei or Sunraku, because I can see both of them doing this. Like if they both choose a hero, or if they both, sorry, let me reverse that. If they both choose a villain to begin with, and then just before they're able to do some kind of villainous deed, like they're left at like some bit of a cliffhanger, and then they fight Sylvie, and then as soon as that match is over, they jump in with their second character, and then they do a quick finisher of the last villainous deed to get like a quick boost to their ultimate ability, and it's kind of, and then that way they can.
They're not going to be able to swap.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to swap mid-game. Well, they're not going to be able to.
Yeah,
because once the new game starts, it's like a fresh game.
Okay, that could be another thing. Like, is this whole entire set of rounds going to be in real time, or is it going to be? Because a new villain is going to come in, and is the world going to change, or is the world going to reset?
Yeah, it's a reset every time.
It's like it's a complete reset. It's like
is that official?
If you ever play Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, sure.
Once you're done and you win, you go back to the player select.
No, I get
and
that.
then you
but what
start
I'm saying
a brand
is,
new match.
If they choose new characters, does the entire world stay the same?
No,
because it resets to where it was at the beginning of each game.
It'll be like every other
fighting game.
Say
this?
Well, that's just how those style games work in general. Because technically, it's a new match.
Sure. But I want to throw this curveball out there that what if it doesn't? And then because something just so happened to have been at the tipping point.
But their meter will change. Their meter will reset.
Yeah, their meter will reset. But because a previous mission was unfinished, and then all they have to do is like push a guy off a building, and all of a sudden their meter is maxed out because when they attempted it last time, it wasn't quite finished.
I don't know. I think that's a little too far of a stretch.
I'm definitely pushing it. But
I feel like that's too cheap.
Yeah, I think it's anime logic to a point. But
I could see it, but I don't think like mental logistics of our video games these days, I can't see it working like that. But then again, who knows? Mm-hmm. You had an American company pair up with a Japanese company that doesn't release games in America, so you never know.
I think it's going to be like every other fighting game where it's just a complete reset.
That would make more sense. But if things want to get crazy, I can see them trying to pull something that I'm trying to pull. Sure.
Okay, that's going to be the exhibition. It's going to be a knockout. They talk about how it can be 180 minutes of extension.
Yeah, because you got 30 here, then 30 here, 30 here. So right there's an hour and a half, and that's just one of the second people get knocked out.
Yep.
So then by the time it gets down to Sunraku, he knocks out their second person. That's 2 hours, and now it's him and Sylvia, and now Kei should be coming over shortly after, if it works out perfectly.
But I think Sylvia's gonna
make light work of him the first round, and then Sunraku's gonna catch on.
So remember, somebody's gonna fight Sylvia first and lose on purpose, but I think Sylvia's gonna 1-2 and cut down the time and make it like 5 minutes, 5 minutes, or 2 minutes, 5 minutes.
God, I put 2 minutes on the first fight.
Exactly.
Like whoever they're fighting, it's 2 minutes.
And so she is going to throw a wrench into their plan, because it's going to be like, oh, we're only at an hour and 40 minutes.
But here's the thing though, Sylvia wants to fight Kei just as bad as Kei wants to fight her.
Ooh, there could be a mid-game conversation where they purposely wait it out and piss off the audience.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think they'll go that far. She's too competitive.
It's true.
But I have a feeling she may catch what they're doing and maybe try to prolong the fight. Then just wait until the last minute, just absolutely embarrass Sunraku.
That could be
it could be like that too. It could go both ways, because she's passionate about gaming, but she's also extremely passionate about fighting Kei again.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Toa is second? Yep, Toa is second.
Yeah, Meg first, Toa, and then
Sunraku,
and then Kei.
I think it'll be very interesting because, you know what? Because of who's going second. I feel like if Meg went second, she would not have a chance against Sylvie.
Right.
But because it's Toa, that it'll be a little bit, but she's still going to struggle.
She's going to, because Meg realized she is one of the weaker ones on the team. Sunraku embarrassed her.
Yep.
And then Sunraku got his ass handed to him. And she didn't get to witness it. Well, none of us did. But she's like, wait, you beat him?
It's like, yeah, because she's the devil.
So it's like you face somebody who does not play this game at all.
Yep.
Got your shit rocked.
Yep.
And then that person got their shit rocked. Like, That's where you know where your standpoint is based on your team. And I have a feeling that might be why she's going first.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Senraku is he's like chaotic good. So everything he does is still good, but it's like, what? Why are you doing this?
He's too random. And that's why I have a feeling that Sylvia fight with him is going to be
It's going to be
insane.
two people fighting.
It's going to be two people fighting, and they're not going to be able to read each other because they're too random. They're too chaotic.
But I was talking about the reason why Senraku lost against Toa is because she's the opposite of him, where she's just straight evil.
She's methodical. She has everything planned out to a T.
And she will literally betray the world to get what she wants.
And also on top of that, they've been fighting in games for how long? So she kind of knows how he plays, even though he has no method.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, she knows he'll save everybody. He will play the character to the fullest extent, and because he played a hero, she knew that he would do everything he could to be a hero.
Yeah.
Well, it's like he said, the only reason you won is because you collapsed an entire building with 1,000 people in it.
Yeah, that was absolutely funny. Okay, I guess the last thing I want to talk about is just overall, was this as good as season 1? Better than season 1? Maybe a little bit worse? Like, what was your opinion on season 2?
Fight-wise, I like the Weatherman fight more.
Fair.
Don't get me wrong, the Lycagon fight was good. I liked the Weatherman fight better.
It was more action-packed, yes.
It was, but season as a whole, I think I like season 2 a little bit more.
Okay.
At least that's in my opinion. I mean, this one had a lot of stuff going on, and we got to see them in their outside, who they are as a person instead of their gaming aspect with the GGC.
Character growth. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good one. That's a good point. Lance, what about you?
Yeah, I would agree. We got definitely a lot more character building, world growth in season 2.
Okay.
Season 1, I do kind of feel like my heart belongs a little bit more with season 1 because of just how new and exciting everything was. Everybody loves starting a new game and being in a new world.
Yep.
There was many times during this season that I felt like it dragged just a little bit.
Okay, fair, yep.
And because of that, like, it just left a taste in my mouth. I'm like, okay, like, I see what's going on. I know you're trying to, like, just shove information down our throats, but at this moment, I need results.
Okay.
So if I take a step backwards, I can appreciate it, but when I'm in the moment, I'm like, just fucking give it to me. Yeah. So it's really, really hard to say which one I like more because this season was so packed with great information, and the way we got left with our cliffhanger on 2 different cliffhangs.
Yes.
Definitely makes me excited for the next season. I mean, there's no reason anybody shouldn't be excited to see what happens next. I don't know. It's almost even. I can't say what I like more.
You can say even. They're both as good.
Okay.
That's fine.
They both are good. Like, the only thing that's like not making me give like a definite yes to season 2 is when it got to the GGC, it dragged.
Yeah.
Like, they were just sitting in the hotel room talking for like a full episode. I'm like, I get it. It's building that backstory on like why this fight's important, but holy hell, like,
yeah,
I get it. You didn't need to waste a full episode explaining it and then half of the next episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that part drags. So like I'll give season 1 in the aspect of it, like it constantly kept you in it. But as for
storyline,
as for storyline, I liked where season 2 went, and the fact that it left you on 2 fuck you cliffhangers, I loved it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
What about you, Matt?
I personally thought season 1 was better overall. I think it's in part because the Weatherman fight was almost half of the second core.
Yeah.
And so it just left a better taste in my mouth, kind of what you were saying, Tyler, where part of the GGC stuff just kind of dragged. It was good information, just like, fuck, just get me into it. I want this to happen. Pick one or the other. And so that's kind of why I think season 1 was better, but you're talking like a 7.5 for season 2 and an 8 for season 1. It's not really much of a difference, but just I like season 1 just slightly better than season 2.
Yeah, I can understand that completely. Basically leaning that exact same way.
Yep. Awesome.
We never did favorite characters, by the way.
Oh.
Do you want to add it? Because that's going to be another half-hour conversation. To be honest, this one's hard to have a favorite because you didn't see a whole lot of everybody. Like, obviously, mine's probably going to be Senraku because, I mean, he was literally the main focus. But, like, you didn't see enough out of everybody else to be able to be like that.
Mm-hmm. No, I think we gave quite a bit of
we had a good
praise for a handful of people.
And there wasn't a lot of big fights to be able to go like, I like this fight over this fight. Like,
yeah.
Don't get me wrong, like you had King of the Sea, but like it wasn't much of a fight as it was running and it killing itself.
Yeah.
It was tactical.
Tactical retreating. But I figured I'd mention it just in case you're like, no, we need to have it kind of thing.
I'm good.
No,
One side thing I am going to put out though, one of the funniest things out of the entire second season was Emil's voice lines. Like, just like, he's like, I'll give you a carrot. She's like, oh, like, just like the random sounds. And then she said one line that caught me so fucking off guard. And I can't remember what it was. It was near the end it was in the second half.
I don't know.
I'll have to rewatch it and find it because I died laughing. Like, it was some out of pocket shit. Like, Sanraku said something and she's like it just said it. And I was like, all right, like, cool.
Yeah. She is definitely the comedy character. Like, obviously everyone's super funny, but she's like the ditzy one that's always goddamn funny.
Yeah, she's the one-liner person.
Yeah.
Lantz has been trying to stump us with some Pokemon quizzes, and he warned us offline that he might have made these a little more difficult than he meant to, but you know what? I don't mind getting them wrong. I'll admit I'm not great at it. It's okay. Tyler, you're the linchpin to this.
Great.
All right, so we're going to jump into Generation 1 material.
Cool. Okay.
Question 1 is going to be a little bit different. I have a Pokedex entry for you guys.
Cool.
So, the red and blue versions say this. Its short feet are tipped with suction pads that enable it to tirelessly climb slopes and walls. And in the yellow version, it says, if you touch the feeler on top of its head, it will release a horrible stink to protect itself. Which Pokemon is this describing?
What kind of bullshit is this question? Can I...
Oh, fuck's got suction cups on its feet in Gen 1.
Tentacool is the only thing I can think of.
But it's more like a whip than it is suction cups.
Yeah.
I'd say, but that climbing?
Yeah, the climbing.
It doesn't have feet.
Its short feet are tipped with suction pods that enable it to tirelessly climb slopes and walls.
Can we ask for a hint, since this is fucking insane of a question?
I will say this is a pretty basic Pokemon.
Basic. Oh, is it Caterpie?
I think it would. You said feelers, right?
Yellow version says if you touch the feeler on top of its head, it will release a horrible stink to protect itself.
I'm going Caterpie.
I'm going to go Caterpie. I was thinking Weedle, but it's got a horn on top of its head. So that's why, like, when I said feeler, I would have to say, I'd probably say Caterpie.
All right. Is that what you guys are going with?
I'm around with it.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. You guys are correct. It is Caterpie.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations. All right. Question number 2. True or false?
True.
False.
A traded Pokemon receives 2 times the experience in Generation 1.
Yes, true.
False?
That's fine. One of us.
I didn't have friends to trade with, so I don't fucking know.
I think you do get XP.
I don't think it's twice. I don't think it's 2 times.
That's fair.
Maybe I think 1.5.
That's fair.
One
of us is right.
I don't think it's 2 though.
One of us is right.
So you both are locking in your answers?
Well, one of us is going to be right, so that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. The answer is false.
Oh.
It is 1.5.
Oh, 1.5.
But there is a little tweak.
Logic.
It is 1.7 if you trade from a different language game.
Interesting.
What?
I didn't know that myself. I did research this. And
why is that a thing?
I don't know. If someone from America trades with someone from Japan, those different languaged Pokemon receive a 1.7 times.
Well, I understand what you're saying. I don't understand why that's a thing.
Yeah, right? I don't know. Maybe before global trade happened, it's that much rarer of a thing and they just kind of honored it. But
yeah, why would you put that in the game? That makes no sense, but whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, so the official thing is 1.5 times the experience gain.
All right.
Question number 3. The evolution question.
Yay.
I'm going to tell you right now, think differently. What level does Psyduck evolve at?
I'm probably going to be way off. Part of me is saying 36.
Oh, I was thinking no. He even gave us a hint. So 36 is a pretty normal one. So it's
42. It's a higher one. It's not. I don't think it's in the 20s.
I was going to say 41, so it's not going to be an even one. I can say that for sure. It's going to be weird.
All right, so we going 41 and 44?
He said 42.
42?
It's going to be 44 then. 'Cause
All right, so you guys are both wrong. The correct answer is 33.
Oh,
So my 36 was a little closer, but I
A
see.
little bit, yeah.
But like I knew it was higher. It wasn't in the 20s, but I knew it was above 30.
Yep.
Yeah, fucking strange. I would have never guessed that myself.
33 is a weird number.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's my Pokemon quiz today. You
Cool.
guys didn't do all that bad. I'm very happy that you guys got the Pokedex entry correct.
We got 2 out of 3. I'm calling it. So
As a collective we.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good job. Hopefully our viewers did a little bit better, if not just as equal.
Yeah, definitely pause and think about these questions because Lance might cut it down some, but we definitely think about it for a second before we answer.
All right, so that will conclude today's episode. Thank you everyone for listening. Please rate and review us wherever you are listening to us on. If you are interested in more anime news, please follow the Anime Show on Facebook and Instagram. And like our break suggested, we have a side podcast called D&D Noobs. So please follow us there on Spotify and Apple. And until next time, we'll see you guys.
Have a good one.